Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Alhamdulillah. I will just straight go to start our session. As I mentioned earlier, in my the tentative programs I received, I think last night, a new one. This morning we will have Dr. Kartiko as the first presenter this morning, and then followed by Dr. Rahana, Dr. Abdul Nasir, and after that Prof. Yulizar Jamaluddin Sanrego. So without further ado, I would like to invite Brother Dr. Kartiko to present his paper entitled Risk Management for Islamic Microfinance Institution in Indonesia. And this presentation, this paper will be discussed, and the discussion will be Dr. Askarya, from Bank Indonesia. So silakan Pak Kartiko.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin, rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Amma ba'du. Ajahrus, thank you very much. Really so long time we didn't meet. Yeah, after 2015 maybe in Islamabad in the last meeting in IIUI, and we pray to Allah that we can meet now, even though on virtual, get the silaturahim of all. Thank you also all prominent scholar this event. I will present the simple paper, especially to my discussion, Dr. Askarya. Special for me because he get our supervisor in every discussion about the PMD development, especially in Perhimpunan PMD Indonesia. So I think I often say to him to say that merepotkan to him selalu, always. Okay, thank you. I will share this paper based on the empirical case in PPMT Indonesia, Perhimpunan PMT Indonesia, the Association of PMT. Yes, we have 322 members, PMTs in Indonesia, spread around 10 provinces, till Aceh, then Merauke. So there are many condition and many problem faced to our member. So I catch the problem and capture all problem in the note. And we heard the discussion in internal of PPMT. So we get the conclusion and maybe to solve the problem for our member. the paper will explain and describe the conclusion about the problem in BMT BMT in Indonesia. So maybe for the academic paper, this paper can correct maybe maybe and can add the many suggestion to get the good paper and get the good recommendation for us, because in the practitioner we have many advice to encourage and to develop the BMT better in next time. Okay. So this paper title is risk management for Islamic microfinance case in Indonesia. Maybe it's a special case on PBMT Indonesia. In Indonesia, there are three organizations to collect the member, like PBMT and Inkopsah also, and Apsindo Asosiasi BMT. But I don't have the data from other organizations, so I cannot to compare with the problem for others. Maybe Pak Askarya will give me to complete the solution, maybe, and advice about the risk of management, especially in PMT. I divide the 5 topic the background, and next description of PMT development in Indonesia. This the topic is a common topic. Many researchers declare and explain about the PMT development in Indonesia, and I think you can search many papers, especially based on research in Indonesia PMT, how PMT to contribute, alleviate poverty, especially in Indonesia, because this institution built in level grassroots level. It's in since 1990. And the third, the urgency of risk management in PMT government. I will explain about the how to why the risk management must operate in PMT in the last period, last decade, because now the PMT asset have maybe the big volume. You know, in Indonesian currency IDR, maybe till and 17 trillion. Please divide it in dollars. How much that? And the fourth, how BMT in Indonesia to applicate risk management, especially in Perhimpunan BMT Indonesia and PBMT. This topic will discuss about the risk management application for BMT in Indonesia. And the last, there are a conclusion about the problem about the risk management application to BMT Indonesia. Okay, I will start then this paper. We know that the Islamic microfinance institution in Indonesia, especially, and many development countries, especially in OIC countries, many researchers found the role of Islamic microfinance to alleviate the poverty. It is same in case Indonesia. So Islamic microfinance is an important part of poverty alleviation. If we know the necessity institutions serve to poor, so we must to hold the institution maintained like that. So it is necessary to think about the risk so that the existence of Islamic microfinance institution is maintained. We can imagine that if BMT or the similar institution which serve to poor default maybe or loss from collapse maybe, we will take the problem to the providing loan for poor or financing for poor, especially in the first day this workshop. Many presenters say and mention about the economic or financial inclusion. But really in Indonesia, we know BMT effective to serve poor, implement by automatically financial inclusion, because their member are coming from grassroots, coming from the poor level, maybe an unliterate person. We know that the problem of financial inclusion is how to catch people to get the economic or financial transaction, especially if I read about the financial inclusion concept in Indonesia, how to attract people have account in the bank. So really in Islamic microfinance, we have been implementing that automatically since 1990 than now. So if Islamic microfinance is now BMT face the problem and they will default, a collapse maybe, it will make problem for providing to poor. So why is institution will collapse? Yeah, if the institution cannot manage risk well. This is the reason how why we must speak and discuss about the risk management for Islamic microfinance. BMT has an important role in the process of poverty alleviation in Indonesia, based on research by Adnan Hayar in 2015. I will take his comment in the research. Yeah. Mr. Adnan said that one of the studies conducted by Adnan proved that most respondents were able to increase their income after receiving financing from BMT, especially in product BBA by Bisaman Ajil, maybe Murabahah and Mudorabah, to empower the poor in various productive businesses, have been able to reduce the extent and severity of poverty. At the conclusion of Adnan. Okay, next, I will do faster. The reduce the various risks that could lead to possibility of the microfinance institution being dissolved. How to maintain, to minimize BMT collapse and extra. Okay, I think this condition on Indonesia, BMT Indonesia BMT, I mentioned before that the December 2016 had total asset and 13.4 trillion, but in the end of 2020, total asset were 17.6 trillion. So this it is a good growth. Proves that the support of members are significant, both as borrowers and as depositors. I know, and we know that the members of BMT are as borrowers and as depositors both during depositors and also borrowers. Yeah, vice versa. Location in Indonesia, BMT spread surrounding entire of Indonesia. Urhana said that amanah ikhtiar there are in many location in every negeri, every district. In Indonesia also, we can find the BMT in every district also. Maybe based on data from Pinbook, there are 5 till 6,000 BMTs in Indonesia. Especially in BMT Indonesia, we serve to amounts 17 million people and the grassroots level. So to increase income after receiving finance from BMT, this is the role of BMT to power. It is the description. If we know this condition in the BMT, so we must how to maintain the BMT live. What is the survive? I think like this, the survive. How to get the survival for BMT? Maybe it is the idea. Okay. Next, the urgency of risk management in BMT governance. We know that the Surah Luqman verse 31, the human basically cannot be sure what will happen in the future. So we must prepare all of about the something, make well, so how to ensure the next time in condition and the good condition. So how to make the preparation like in the standard operating procedure and the planning and the many activity, how to make the future well, how many to the good condition in the future, so we can prepare this. Maintaining the operational continuity of BMT is important. I mentioned this before. Okay, so we found in BMT Indonesia really risk management faced in BMT's member of BMT Indonesia only 5 risks. There are in financing risks, like the credit financing, liquidity risk, legal risk, and reputation risk, also in Sharia compliant risk. In the risk management theory, we know that there are 8 risks, but we can capture from the empirical and the fact of the field, and the BMT Indonesia BMTs face it only in 5 risks. Financing risk, namely the risk that occurs to the value of the opposing party. I mean, in the member that get the borrow the money, and the opposing party to meet its needs in making payment. That do the PMT serve in the grassroots level, they have the risk of financing. Why? We know the grassroots level, this level of the people not have fixed income. Sometimes they can get food for themselves. That's so. If how to get the payment back? That's the problem for PMT. But really, it is the tax to PMT serve them. So this the financing is the really problem from PMT. And the second, BMT face the liquidity risk. Especially if PMT in condition the time of Ramadan, will Idul Fitri, and also in the school session will begin. Because the member need some money, much money to pay the problem of members. So PMT will get the impact of the need of member. Special and legal risk arise from judicial juridical activities, among others, and the emergence of lawsuits from third parties, absence of supporting laws and regulation, weakness in binding or imperfect collateral, so that the company cannot carry out liquidation action. This risk can arise from financing activities or operational activities. Reputation risk is a risk that arises from bad public perception. In fact, there are many PMT collapse and close, not operation again. So that will emergence publicity. So this condition will make the negative perception for people. That is the reputation get from PMT for PMT. And the fifth and the last is Sharia compliant, especially if PMT provide only in murabahah contract. We can discuss deeply in that later. Okay. Sorry. Risk management application for PMT. Oh, I just 20 minutes. The financing risk is the highest risk is PMT. From the 5 risks, the big risk is financing risk. It's the highest risk faced by PMT. The liquidity also, they often, and reputation risks are often encountered when there are several PMTs that experience default. It is PMT get the risk by other case, maybe I mean by PMT others. It is the external case when to evact to PMT. It will have an impact on other PMTs, namely in the lack of trust from the public. Legal risk can also hit PMTs, especially when PMTs face legal issues regarding the procedures for refund. In Indonesia, we have the Banking Act, then it is always to arrest the PMT practitioners if PMT default. And it's like the ghost for practitioner PMT about the banking act. Many personnel catch by policemen, and they mention about the what is the face and melanggar in Indonesia, forbidden to rising fund by people. We now can mention the black bank, or what is the dark bank, or maybe Pak Arsaya next can explain the condition.
Illegal.
Yeah. Illegal, not illegal, but really is we know that the PMT illegal form in Indonesia is cooperative. We take the under control of the Act of number 25 in year 1992. So it's illegal. But if we take the funds from people, what is they say that you are illegal illegal banking. Okay, maybe we can discuss deeply. Sharia compliant if product more focus on murabahah, because people now it's difficult to what is different of murabahah. I mean the margin and the usuri. I mean the interest, rate interest. So the simple perceive of people murabahah is the kind of interest. Okay, conclusion. BMT is an institution that self-finance will face the same risk as banking. But BMTs Indonesia only face in financing risk, liquidity risk, legal risk, reputation risk, and Sharia compliance risk. Depending the various risks to the implementation of BMT practices must be immediately understood by managers. It is the real now. So all practitioners must be aware about the risk management. Anticipating and safeguarding against risks will make BMT operational in the long term. Thus, the existence of BMT and its role in reducing poverty in Indonesia can still run well. I think finish, then we'll refer back to the censor, prominent good country of Brunei Darussalam, Hajah Ros Abdullah. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Brother Kotiko.
20 minutes I spent this session.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
25.
Very good timing. So yeah, we have another 20 minutes for the discussion. Dr. Askaria from Bank Indonesia is a prominent scholar. I know that he worked on zakat last time. I think something to do with the risk of amil, if I'm not mistaken, a few years ago. So without further ado, we invite Dr. Askaria to discuss the paper.
Thank you, Dr. Rose. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. Allahumma sholli wa sallim ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa mawala. Pak Kartiko, I think you have good start on your short paper. I consider your short paper is like a preliminary research note that could be expanded into a full research.
Yes.
Of course, you have to, if you want to extend it to a full research, then I think many things you have to do. in the motivation, in the
Okay.
research gap, and also
Yes.
you have to make it the clear objective. What is the objective? And then
Yes,
in the chapter 2, of course, you should have the theory, risk management theory in Islamic financial institution at least, and also the previous studies. And then maybe you can use any methods, but because this is risk management, maybe most of the studies use the qualitative, or maybe also you can use like ERM, and so many methods you can use.
Okay, thank you.
But now I would like to present my view on the risk management on BMT, because I think I have a bit different view from Pak Kartiko. So
Oh yeah.
I will present my presentation, risk management on BMT. When we talk about BMT, so actually we talk about Baitul Mal and Baitul Tamwil. That's why, of course, there are risks in Baitul Mal and there are also risks in Baitul Tamwil.
Oh yes. So, Son, Pak.
Okay. So
I can see your screen share. Yeah.
Can you see it?
Yes. Okay, no, it's okay.
There are risks in Baitul Mal related in the management of Islamic social finance, including zakat, wakaf, infak, and other social finance. And also there are risks in Baitul Tamwil related to the management of Islamic commercial finance, as also mentioned by Pak Kartiko, in providing Islamic finance services, funding, financing, and other microfinance services. Yes, the risk in Baitul Tamil is almost similar to any other Islamic financial institution. So I start with Baitul Tamil. So at least the Baitul Tamil has two type of risks. One is generic risk that I think some of them have been mentioned by Pak Kartiko: credit risk, market risk, operational risk, solvency risk, liquidity risk. And also BMT also has the unique risk, such as rate of return risk, Sharia non-compliant risk, displaced commercial risk, because BMT also compete with conventional cooperatives, inventory risk, and equity investment risk. At least they have all of these risks. Also, I think legal risk also mentioned by Pak Kartiko. That's also one risk that BMT also face. But other than all of these risks, Baitul Tamil also exposed to additional risk due to some condition in Indonesia. For example, in Indonesia, there is no BMT Islamic money market, while Islamic bank has Islamic money market to manage short-term liquidity, right? And secondly, also there is no lender of the last resort for BMT, while Islamic bank has the central bank to help with short-term solvency, liquidity, or even longer-term structural problems. Thirdly, also there are lack of supervision and assistance or guidance, while Islamic bank has FSA, OJK, who closely supervise the business conduct and also the prudential. Now, regarding the Baitul Mal, we know that in the Zakat core principle, there are at least 4 ZCP, which cover the risk in managing zakat. because Baitul Mal also manage zakat, infak, wakaf, and other social funds in Islam. So at least based on the ZCP, the Baitul Mal of BMT also will expose to these four risks: country and transfer risk, reputation and muzaki loss risk, disbursement risk, and operational risk. And also we have, I think we have done a research and we published the risk management of zakat management using ERM COSO. There are 5 categories of risk: strategic risk, educational risk, operational risk, reporting risk, and compliance risk. And all of these could be broken down into 11 risks, and then it could be broken down further into 36 sub-risks. And we have identified 405 risks in managing zakat only. And we also can pinpoint and can determine what kind of risks are these 405 risks. We divide it into 4: 31 extreme risk, 193 high risk, 162 moderate risk, and 19 low risk. So we can see here the identification of risk in managing zakat, but sorry, this is in Indonesia. You can download this book of zakat management in Puskas Basnas. It is available in Indonesian language and in English also. So,
Arabic also?
In English and in Indonesian.
Oh.
So this is the category of risk in managing zakat. And the identified risks are so many. And if you look at the book, they will cover also how to manage, how to mitigate, and how the impact, so that the institution managing zakat could mitigate all the possibility of risk in managing zakat. Now, BMT also manage in Baitul Mal. They also manage wakaf. So we know that we also have wakaf core principles. And in the wakaf core principle, there are so many risks identified. Wakaf core principle number 12 up to number 27, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 risks, 13 principles, wakaf core principle, dealing with how to manage the risk in managing the wakaf. And also, we also have published this wakaf management, wakaf risk management, but still in Indonesian language. We haven't published the English one. There are 6 categories in this wakaf risk management: strategic risk, educational risk, operational risk, investment risk, reporting risk, and compliance risk. So this also could be broken down into 18 risks, 63 sub-risks, and we identified 1,014 risks in managing wakaf, including 2 extreme risks, 406 high risks, 601 moderate risks, and 5 low risks. And in the book, you can see how to mitigate and what the impact, so that when BMT as a Nadir also managing wakaf, they can mitigate all the risk they expose. So this is the identified risk and the impact in using the ERM COSO. And this is the detailed risk in managing wakaf. There are 1014 risks actually. So this is the book of zakat management, zakat risk management. You can download this in Puskas Basnas, or you just search in the internet. And also this is the management risiko pengelolaan wakaf. We haven't published the English version. We just have this Bahasa Indonesia version. I think that's all my presentation. We can discuss after it. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Ajarus, mic-nya unmute. Your mic, unmute.
Unmute Ajarus.
Your microphone. Hello? Ajarus, your microphone.
Sorry. I think very nice. All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Yeah? Already?
Yeah.
Yes.
Already, right?
Yes.
Right.
Can you? Yes. Can you?
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Askaria. That's a very good and useful input that we can use and we can benefit from it. And I'm sure Dr. Kartiko can use it as well to add some in the paper. So I open the floor for question and answer. We have actually the time is until 10:15, but I give 5 minutes for question and answer. Please. Anyone want to take the opportunity?
I think we should agree with the views from Dr. Askaria regarding the types of risks that are exposed to Baitul Mal BMT. We have two different. One is Baitul Mal, and the one is Tamwil. But at the same time, we also need to look at the so you can look at the risk. You look at the type of risk from the types of business, right? Dr. Askaria. But on the other hand, we need to look at on the types of not only business but also the type of the product that you offer.
Yes.
So the product may have the different types of risk. Okay.
Yes.
And also not only the different types of risk based on the product, but also we have the category, because the risk might be due to the system, might be due to people, and might be due to your external factors. Okay, so that also need to be embedded or maybe need to be discussed in this paper. Thank you, Dr. Aja.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Ajarus, may I respond from Dr. Askaria first? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. First, thank you for Dr. Askaria that it is the full information and analyze about the Baitul Mal especially and Baitul Tanwil risk. But I will say about the condition in the managers of BMT in Indonesia now. They must to encourage the awareness about the risk management. So now or today, how to make the managers practitioner, I mean, in BMT, study and learn many cases about the risk management will face the BMT. So if we look at your kind of the risk till 1,000 types, I think big fear for us to how to manage BMT next next time, because I think we need many. So maybe what do you think if we take the big maybe many types the big problem will we can solve step by step, maybe like that, Dr. Askar, yeah, because of the academic suggestion, I think it's okay, but I imagine if manager read your book, they will so if they all living is problem. If somewhere someone will enter in BMT office, in the front office till in the back office, all will take the risk like this. Yeah, Dr. Rose, thank you.
Can I respond?
Very much. Yeah. 15. Doctor.
Yes. Thank you, Pak Kartiko. You know, the BMT in Indonesia, they are also vary in size, right? And there are very small BMT, and there are also very big BMT with more than 3 trillion rupiah.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
And of course, when, for example, a manager of BMT, they have to know what they are managing, right? For example, most of BMT, they don't manage the Baitul Mal very well, for example. They don't really manage zakat well. They don't really manage wakaf well. So that probably you don't need to give more attention on risk of Baitul Mal, for example. But the bigger the BMT, for example, like UKT, they have even the Baitul Mal. They have even the Baitul Tamwil. They have even not just Baitul Mal. They have the zakat institution, separate zakat institution, and they also have a separate wakaf institution. So in this case, they have to know what they are doing, right? In the zakat, they have to know what risk they expose. In the wakaf, they also have to know what the risk they expose. So it depends on the size of the BMT and also the type of BMT. For example, if we look at, for example, Tamziz, for example. Tamziz is actually the Baitul Tamwil, right? So Tamziz should care more about the risk in Baitul Tamwil, right? But maybe the Tamadun will care about the managing zakat and right? Okay. Now, what are the critical risks in Baitul Mal? First, I think the most critical risk in BMT as a whole, and mostly actually this is exposed to the Baitul Tamwil. It is because the Baitul Tamwil of BMT adopt pooling of fund, similar as bank, but they don't have that I just mentioned. They don't have Islamic money
Liquid
market for
market.
BMT.
Yeah.
We don't have a lender of the last resort, right? So that is very easy for any BMT, even the very strong BMT, they could collapse suddenly because of this kind of risk. And I think the government should take action here.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know the Ministry of Cooperative that should have some kind of lender of the last resort. For example, I don't know because it could be the APEC, for example, APEC, or maybe the Bank Pembangunan Daerah as the APEX. I don't know.
Anchor maybe like
Something could be done so that at least the BMT is not so vulnerable because of this kind of risk. I think that's the most important one. Thank you, Dr. Rose.
Thank you very much, Dr. Askaria. Thank you very much for the feedback, and also Dr. Katiko. I think Dr. Askaria can share your paper with the panitia, with the committee, so that anyone who interested to refer to it later on can do so. Yeah. And
propose Dr. Raja. Any propose for me, for Dr. Askaya? Maybe you must write the new section again for the you divide the book by level 1, level 3, and other by in the very BMT volume.
Inshallah, maybe later.
You can talk to Askaria later on, yeah. Or can put your suggestion in a chat so everyone can read it, can know your discussion. Because we are running out of time, we are behind by 20 minutes. 10 minutes. It's supposed to be 10:15. We have another presentation by Dr. Rahana. So thank you very much, Dr. Askaria and Dr. Kartiko.
Thank you,
You're welcome.
Yeah. So we move to the next session. Dr. Rahana Abdul Rahman from Amanah, from Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia with the paper digitalizing micro entrepreneur in Sabah, theory of internet consumption. That will be followed by discussion by Sister Nurlina Abdul Wahab from UUM. So please, Dr. Rahana, I hope the presenter and the discussion later on, the presenter have 20 minutes and discussion 10 minutes, so that we have longer time for question and answer. And please straightforward in your presentation. Dr. Rahana, silakan. Dr. Rahana.
Sebentar. Okay. Assalamualaikum semua. Assalamualaikum, very good morning. I'm looking for my paper. Not this one. This one is not mine. Is it? Wait. Not this one. Okay, wait. I'm looking for the paper. Oops. Wait.
Okay, while waiting for Dr. Rahana, I would like to inform that after this is at 11 or at 10, 10 in Indonesia, 11 Brunei time, is Abdul Nasir, Brother Abdul Nasir. Please get ready with your paper, and then after that is Dr. Yuliza. Okay. All right.
Oh, okay. Is that okay? All right. Thank you very much. Okay. Wait. Why it become view like this? Should be fit the windows. Okay. Oh, okay. Is it mine or what? Okay. Assalamualaikum. Okay, this will be Program 5 view. Okay, okay, this is a paper, basically a concept paper whereby the concerns come from after the introduction the introduction of My Digital by our Malaysian Prime Minister. We're looking at the importance of technology into the microeconomic, the micro entrepreneurs. So, okay, the type, alamak, I think should be Prof. Ada kat Prof.
Yeah. Sure.
Ada kat Prof.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so go straight with the introduction. Okay, the present world is changing drastically in field of digital technologies, especially in Malaysia, and we also encourage the new innovation functionalities which transform business environment, competitiveness, modification on general business structures and procedures or policies. And in Malaysia, due to the encouragement by the government regarding the use of technology, ICT, for the all my entrepreneurs in Malaysia, and based on their experience during the MCO, it is the best that all the entrepreneurs use technologies for them to ensure their sales and ensure their projects to continues. Same goes to Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia. We also look into the importance of digitals, and we try to improve our current condition of Sahabat Amanah Ikhtiar to become a digital entrepreneurs. Okay, now digital entrepreneurship increase the rate of employment. Yes, it happened in Malaysia and also to Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia, and also in Sabah. Digital entrepreneurship closely related with digital channel, online, social media, and so on. And digitalization come from outcome and also source for innovation. We have come up with numbers of new products, new method of marketing, new method of social change management, and new method of in term of delivery system, also in term of innovation system. And then the innovation become the driving force for the utilization of digital opportunities. Uh, for Malaysia, we are now moving forward for 5G, and even in Sabah also we try to move from 4G to 5G in order to increase the performance and also the coverage for the entrepreneurs. Okay, next I go to literature review. Okay, so basically, in order for Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia to introduce or to reshape or retransform our micro entrepreneurs, we also need to revise back or review back the terms or what is the meaning of digital entrepreneurship. So basically, digital entrepreneurship is an act of identifying and utilizing new business opportunities which are offered by new media and internet technologies. So basically, it is a new method of business, and whereby the enforcement more on the use of technology and ICT. Now, I can also go through with the numbers of, if you can see here, categories of entrepreneurs. We have entrepreneurs, okay, entrepreneurs process, and also the ecosystem related. The importance of bringing digital entrepreneurs into Sabah and also to our Sahabat Amanah Ikhtiar is that uh, we also face number of challenges, especially related to the coverage, whereby we look at the population in Sabah. We also look at the in term of academic or literacy in ICT, and also we look at in term of the importance of digital entrepreneurship, because we can say that here in Sabah, mostly of our borrowers or our sahabat still involved mostly in primary sector, like traditional sector. So we try to balance between the digital entrepreneurs and also the current project that they have at hands. Now, number three, through our research, through my overview regarding the digital entrepreneurships, We also look at the pillars of digital entrepreneurships, which been by the European Commission, that is the knowledge base and the digital business environment, the access to finance, digital skill, and entrepreneur cultures. Just to share with all other participants, we'd like to inform you that in Malaysia, basically we can say that other than NGOs, other than banking sector that provide microfinance, we also have providers from the states, whereby every state we can say that they have a new scheme that we call it microfinancing scheme, and we also see that they come up of Islamic or how to say regional institutions that also provide microcredits. So now in Malaysia, it's not only the NGOs, it's not only the federal, but also the states and also the Islamic the region institutions. Okay, next, based on the number 4, please, Prof. Thank you. Right, based on the current scenario, we try to, of course, number one, measure the importance of digital entrepreneurships or digital micro entrepreneurships for our Sahabat, due to not only that the implementation or the support from the government regarding My Digital, but also we see that the budget for the training that provided by the federal, states, and also institution for entrepreneur. So we try to link the concept of digitalization micro entrepreneurs, and also we are looking at the special or unique characteristic of Sahabat. Okay, some we can say that 3 main characteristics of Sahabat that we can say that number 1 is the issues of literacy, number 2 is their coverage, their location, their sports, and also number 2 their access to internet. So in order to combine or to measure the impact of digitalization towards micro entrepreneurs, okay, we can measure the digital entrepreneurs. The question is that the digital micro entrepreneurs. So in Sabah, we need to come or we need to review, okay, the theories that we have at hand. So one of the theory that I would like to propose is the theory of internet consumption digital. Okay, the theory of internet consumption basically is a theory that related between the internet and also the consumption of internet, right? So but in order to understand the impact of digital micro entrepreneurs, we need to involve transformation of innovation system and also income disparity. Okay, so separate complex research is needed to assess the sustainability of digital micro entrepreneurs into achievement of national interest sustainability in poverty reduction. So in other words, yes, we have numbers of studies regarding digital entrepreneurs. We have also studies regarding the importance of internet, the importance of the impact of internet, and also entrepreneurs and also small business. However, there are one segment that it seems to be lack or to be left that need attention, is that micro entrepreneurs, and these micro entrepreneurs have their own specific characteristic, whereby it can't be measured by using the current studies or current method, current theories that we have at hand. So with that, based on today, we're looking at trying to propose one conceptual framework. Okay, so based on the conceptual framework, is a digital micro entrepreneurs, whereby we this assessment regarding the digital entrepreneurs, it must be involved with digital transformations plus the innovation system. So with this conception framework, it is hoped that we can redefine digital micro entrepreneurs, redefine digital transformations that is related, that is required, and also that will be impact toward the micro entrepreneurs, and also redefine the innovation system for the micro entrepreneurs perspective. We're not looking for entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs, yes, it is very clear. When you talk about innovation system for entrepreneurs, yes. We talk about digital transformation for entrepreneurs, yes, we can define that. But when we talk about micro entrepreneurs, we need to redefine that according to their unique characteristic. And on top of everything, as what we know, micro entrepreneurs is one of the element that help the poverty reduction in the country. It also, at the end, will reshape our microfinancing, because our microfinancing will cater micro entrepreneurs. Okay, in order for us to understand the microfinancing, the type, the amount, the risk that we provided to my digital micro entrepreneurs, I think from our perspective point of view, we need to really understand what is digital micro entrepreneurs. Then we can redefine back our microfinance so that it suits and it can fulfill the needs and the important for the digital micro entrepreneurs. As for Amanah Item Malaysia, our microfinancing today a very successful that cater micro entrepreneurs. But when you have digital micro entrepreneurs, we also have to revise our microfinancing system so that it can in line together with the development of our micro entrepreneurs, our borrowers. All right. Okay. So I think that's a concept paper from me for today. This concept paper is basically the current scenario that we have in Amanah Item Malaysia. Is a potential further study that is need to understand the exact what is the digital micro entrepreneurs, so that we can provide a strong, a good and a solid microfinancing product to our borrowers. And it is required for us to assess the reliability of scientific knowledge, because currently we have the knowledge regarding entrepreneur, not the micro entrepreneur, and the motive of widespread dissemination of new entrepreneur behavior, the new behavior of the digital micro entrepreneurs. And also we hope that with this, in the sharing of economic as well as the consequences for the entrepreneur ecosystem. How well can digital micro entrepreneurs in Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia that belong to Amanah Ikhtiar Malaysia, they can sustain, and how further can they move forward in order to move from the poverty cycle. So I think that's all from me. Thank you very much to all, and I open for any questions, and I pass back to Dr. Hajaros for the further. Thank you very much.
Jarus. Jarus missing. Huh? Dr. Jarus is not there.
Tak pasti sebab dia unmute tadi kan?
Yeah. No, not unmute. It's not in the list.
Oh.
Not in the list. So, Dr. Widi, yeah, you can take over, Dr. Widi.
Okay.
As the moderator.
Okay. Because of the discussion, Dr. Asina cannot this session. So the discussion will continue to the floor. Yeah. Please, the participant to comment or ask relating the paper of Dr. Rohana. Please, thank you. Prof.
No, any question?
Sorry, I disconnected for a few minutes.
Okay, please
And
continue.
thank you, Dr. Widianto. to replace me just now.
Yes.
So continue, please. The discussion, right?
Now discussion could not come.
Okay, so we proceed to the next
Question and
presenter.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah, Abdul Nasir. Please, Dr. Abdul Nasir.
Maybe can give to the floor.
Pardon? Yes, Doctor?
Maybe participant will contribute suggestion or comment to this article of Dr. Hannah.
The video, your
I
visual
cannot hear.
not clear.
Ah. The sound is not clear, Dr. Widi. What do you want just now, Dr. Widi? Can you type in the chat?
Or you want to repeat?
Because this discussion cannot come this session, so the participant can give a comment to the present of Dr. Hannah.
I cannot get you. Sister Norzlina cannot come.
Yeah.
And
So,
then?
can we proceed with question and answer?
Oh, I see. All right. Okay. We open the floor for question and answer. For questions, please. Dr. Rahana still with us, huh?
The Kartika is around?
Yeah.
The Kartika is around. Or no question?
Yeah, perhaps no question.
Maybe Dr. Rana can discuss about the big issue of the big data. Because I'm the co-author of this. You can elaborate further on this, a big issue of big data. But the problem is, although we migrate from 4G to 5G,
yep.
But the problem still the problem is about the big data.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Prof. Okay. First of all, in Sabah, our total borrower is about 60,000. We have 60,000.
How many? 60.
60.
Yeah.
Yes. But then the coverage here is still between 2G or 3G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so only certain area you can go for 4G. However, to have a business, to run a business, you need at least 4 to 5G. Then it will be smooth.
Yeah.
All right. So the issue that we have here in Sabah, because my focus in Sabah is number one is of course the coverage of the internet by itself. Okay, we have number of issue raised regarding a student cannot get the access internet, especially during the MCO. Okay, and number two, the location of the borrower by itself, most of them in a rural area, most of them is isolated. So we cannot, when we want to transform them from a traditional entrepreneur to digital micro entrepreneur, so it's quite a bit hard. Okay. With the number three, with the huge number of 60,000 borrower in Sabah, okay, for us, they don't have the good supply chain between the borrowers on the area. So when we want to develop the digital entrepreneurship, micro entrepreneurs, we need to make sure that it's catered not only the needs, but also can give a positive impact toward their project and also positive impact to them. And then, of course, the literacy of ICT among the borrowers, because our borrowers is the age between 40 to 60, 70, 80. It's not the youth. Yeah, it's 40 and above. And most of them, they didn't finish their high school and whatever. So for them to understand the use of digital is...
They are not IT savvy.
Yes. So this kind of the things that we need. So when we want to introduce the digital micro entrepreneurs, we have to find out what the best tune for them. We cannot waste time, because digital, when you talk about digital, is moving forward. So we cannot waste too much time in teaching them. We cannot waste the time in training. So we are still looking how the best way for us to adopt the digital technologies to them. So basically, those will be some of our challenges lah. Number of borrowers is about 60,000, quite a lot. Our staff here in Sabah is only 400. So when you ratio 400 to 6,000, 60,000 is quite a lot to cover. Yeah. So those are
maybe in Indonesia, Dr. Katiko, you have already implemented digital entrepreneur, right? So what should you advise? What should be the lesson learned for us?
I face the same problem like this, but like we implement about the payment application, Prof. We plan to get the market penetration, and really we can take the license from BI, Central Bank. We must get the 300,000 users, but really in the practice, it is so difficult to give literacy or
illiteracy.
Literacy. It is the big problem in the grassroots level. And other special in Indonesia, we have a member is not a millennial generation. The age of above of 40. It is and it's so and third problem, we face the compete with the providers have big capital to develop the application and many feature in the application. It is so there is not what's Adil, it's not balance to compare this user for us. We imagine like someone compare a baby with adult. Or maybe the baby is 3 years old maybe, but they ask how to run faster. Like that.
Apple with singkong.
Yeah. Maybe Pastor have suggestion including about the regulation from BI. Okay, that is all, Prof.
So Prof, some additional may I? Okay, the other part is that we must assess the impact or the effectiveness of digital and micro entrepreneurs. So I think that's the main reason of my paper today is about how can we assess them. We can't say that we can we left them not to know about what is digital micro entrepreneurs. We're going to teach them, we are going to support them, but we also need to have a new method of assessment. We cannot use the current that we have. It's not suitable for them. So I'm looking what is the best way to assess the effectiveness and also the positive impact for them, which can be used as a benchmark for others. That's all.
Back to you, Dr. Jarus. Dr. Yaru, unmute again.
Okay. So if there is no other questions, I think we better move to the next presenter.
Yeah.
Maybe we have more chance to discuss the other papers. So we would like to invite. First of all, thank you very much, Dr. Rahana, and all the participants who contribute and participate in the session. So now we move to the next presenter, Dr. Abdul Nasir Darsan, with the paper entitled Expansion of Microfinance and Islamic Microfinance in Poor Communities, Yemen as case study. This paper will be discussed by Dr. Rahana. Right. So please, Dr. Abdul Nasir. Dr. Abdul Nasir, are you here?
Yeah, he's there. He's there because his name is there. Dr. Abdul Nasir. Dr. Nasir. Nasir, are you there? Oh, it is after Subuh. Yemen, eh? Nasir. Video? Any news? Any news from Dr. Nasir? Dr. Bidi, any news from Dr. Nasir? He's there.
Abdul Nasir?
Yeah, he's on. Or maybe we can proceed.
Abdul Nasir can present this session,
Or we may proceed to the next.
Yeah. The next presenter, Dr.
Liza.
Yeliza. Are you here?
Assalamualaikum.
Doctor?
Yes.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Yes.
Yeah.
Liza.
I think we better move to
Yeah.
the next presenter rather than because I'm afraid we running out of time. I also have to stop by 11:30. So Dr. Yulizar Jamaluddin Sanrigo, the paper is social solidarity mana? Or you share your screen already.
Yes.
Social solidarity, economy and social capital beyond lending of Islamic microfinance institutions. So please, Dr. proceed.
Yeah, let me show my video. Wait. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innalhamdulillah wassalatu rasulillah. Subhanaka ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Allahumma aghnina bil ilmi wa zaina bil hilmi wa akrimna bit taqwa wa jamilna bil afiyah. Wa ba'd. wait. Okay. First of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to the organizer for this great invitation, so that I can have silaturahim with my colleague, speakers, presenters, especially my guru, Prof. Agi, Pak Kartiko, Pak Sheikh Dr. Kartiko, Pak Widi, Dr. Hajah Ros, and of course, Dr. Askaria. How are you, Pak Askaria? Long time no see. Respected presenter and all the Zoom participant audience. Keep healthy, and of course, all the best for all of you. Essentially, the okay, I proceed to the first agenda. Essentially, the study was embarked upon under the premise whether social capital set out by Islamic microfinance institution, especially for those who are practicing growth lending model strategy, only for the purpose of their lending strategy, which is focused on the financial inclusion, or beyond lending, both social as well as financial inclusion. This is the very basic background, the very basic idea that the study carry on. So, sorry. Next. Okay. Some studies confirm that social capital has a significant role as a tool for poor people, whether it is economically active poor or the poor of the poorest. So it could be discussed later. To have the financial services. So in group lending method, non-market institution, such as interpersonal relation and cooperation among the group members, can become a social collateral. Of course, it could be substituting the lack of poor people to physical collateral. And then this collateral substitute enhance the self-enforceable repayment of group members through the functioning of what we call peer monitoring and sanction as well. And with the absence of the physical capital, So what I'm trying to emphasize up to this point is that the role of social capital only for the purpose of lending a strategy through group lending model, and to some extent, the issue also being addressed by Professor Sakai, whereby he found out that the case of microfinance institution in South Asia are seen as he used the term of financializing poverty, so that in this case, drifting from the very basic mission of microfinancial institution itself, of course, including Islamic microfinance institution. So this is the issue, the very basic issue that social collateral is come in. So how Islamic microfinance institution or microfinance at the whole trying to leverage this kind of social capital as their risk mitigation to give services, financial services to the poor. With that, we have in this case, in this study, Baitul Tamkin Tazkiyah Madani as Islamic cooperative institution. This study aims to explore and find some empirical evidence whether.
Could you expand the presentation, please?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Pascal. Yeah. Okay. Before this slide, I want to emphasize that this paper is trying to explore and find some empirical evidence whether social capital promotes both social and financial inclusion with the framework of social solidarity economy concept. So the next, regarding the literature review, the figure is the main idea of this figure is basically present the circular linkage between social capital, social infrastructure, and economic performance, whereby social capital will contribute to the economic performance through, of course, their capability to practice and sustain a mutual cooperation, mutual trust, reciprocity norms, and reduce transaction costs involved in production and exchange. So having such this social capital within the group proved to be an effective and efficient way to reduce the transaction costs in credit delivery and disbursement by shifting onto the group as well as securing loan repayment. So
could you click the slideshow, please? Click the slideshow so that it could be bigger.
Oh, sorry.
Presentation.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Pascal. Clear? Is it clear, Pak Askarya?
Yes, thank you.
Welcome. Wait. Okay. Sorry. Okay. So move on to the next slide. The paper or the study is trying to connect the issue of social capital with the concept of social solidarity economy. The basic message of the social solidarity economy is organization and enterprises, which is very much different from conventional for-profit enterprises by their explicit economic, social, and often environmental objective, as well as their cooperative, associative solidarity relation. So another feature of this idea or the concept is SSE, or social solidarity economy, is generally understood as placing human being at the center of economic and social life. Again, from the perspective of this SSE, the poor people has been restricted from the market caused by the existing economic paradigm, which is market oriented. These poor people has no room in the market to express and change themselves to have better life, particularly in the form of economy. I'm trying to highlight this statement that any initiative, values, or norm that unlock the room for the poor people to express their right to play in the market, considered as social solidarity economy movement. So there is interlinked concept between social solidarity economy and social capital, whereby both of this concept is converge in the issue of the sustainability. So from the conference which is held by ILO, the concept has been clear by the conference that the very basic idea of social solidarity economy is matched with the social capital in terms of sustainability development, including inclusive development, whereby the issue is trying to eradicate poverty, and the way on how this idea is trying to come up with the a strategy of social intermediary as well as financial financial intermediary. So this could be found in the work of Bennett et al. How Bennett et al. Trying to map the work of Islamic, the work of microfinance institution in terms of running their business, running their function, running their role as social intermediation institution as well as financial intermediation. So the term is very much in line, very much in the same concept between the social intermediary and social inclusion, as well as financial intermediation and financial inclusion in other side. So because we are running the time, the study employing structural equation model to answer the research question, and we have three variables here: social capital, government organization, as well as Islamic cooperative self, which is Baitul Tamkin Tazkiyah Madani with the social growth planning model. Okay, you can read the whole picture of the result of this paper in the study, but I'm trying to map to the conclusion that from the finding or from the empirical evidence, it is confirmed that the existence of social capital is matter for the Islamic microfinance institution. In this case, is BTTM, Baitul Tamkin Tazkiyah Madani, to develop and maintain their role in poverty alleviation within the framework of social and financial inclusion. It is beyond lending. It is beyond lending. However, I'm trying to have further recommendation for the next research in the next slide. And the second conclusion, any effort by Islamic microfinance institution that promote social and financial inclusion considered as social solidarity economy organization as social movement agenda. This is the last slide. In view of the finding arrived at parameter on social performance, are suggested to further critically elaborate in order to clearly define whether social capital targeting is only for the sake of financial inclusion agenda. We heard last or yesterday, the term used by Dr. Salman is having the social intervention. So for the next future research, I'll suggest that it could be the next research that trying to handle how to formulate the social capital social performance indicator, so that the formulation could be utilized to to let's say to critically analyze whether some of the micro institution, particularly Islamic microfinance institution, fall into the mission drift. Last but not the least, if the attainment agenda of social capital beyond lending purposes, so my suggestion is it is urged for Islamic microfinance practitioner or researcher to develop dedicated curriculum to promote sustainable life of customer or participant. Sort of from the demand side of the whole program of poverty eradication. With that, I finish my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. 20 minutes.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Dr. For the presentation just now. It is within the time given. Alhamdulillah. So, Dr. Rahana, are you ready? Dr. Rahana is there?
Yes.
Yeah. Please, Dr. Rahana is the discussion, right?
For this topic.
Salman.
Oh, no, sorry. Sorry. I mixed up already where is my timetable? All right. Dr. Salman Ahmad, share. Yeah, Brother Salman, please proceed with your discussion.
Dr. Salman here. She's not around. Oh, Dr. Salman there.
Oh, Dr. Salman is not in, huh?
In
It's
there.
not in the list.
Is there?
It's in the list.
The list.
Yeah. All right. Okay, Dr. Salman. He is not it's not mute, right?
Right, not mute, yeah.
Mike, proceed to the Q and answer. Dr. Salman.
Dr. Salman.
His name there is no in the list.
In the list.
Oh,
It's the list. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, there is.
Where is it?
I saw his name there just now.
He's on and off.
On and off.
Yeah.
Oh, Prof. In the mind there is no name.
Yeah. You know, but just now he was there.
no, it's there.
But can proceed.
Okay, there.
Yeah.
Assalamualaikum. Got
Yes, there. Yeah. Yeah, waalaikumsalam. Please proceed, Darsan.
Yes. Sorry for the delay. I think it was bad connection. So
Salman, your visual is not. Your visual is not clear.
Is my voice clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
clear.
no.
Alhamdulillah.
Clear.
All right. This was a very interesting paper by Dr. It also highlighted the importance of social capital and social norms, which can also complement the financial cost of monitoring. Meaning that if do intertemporal finance, if we provide credit in the present time period and if we are getting the repayment in the future time period, there is an element of risk involved that would we be able to get the repayment on time. So one way to ensure that is to have collateral, is to have formal monitoring, but it involves cost. On the other hand, if we have social capital, if we have social norms, if we have trust between the people, then this can reduce the cost of monitoring and this can increase the compliance of the contract, especially where the cash flows are involved at different time periods. The loan is given in the present time period and the repayment is done in the future time period. So in this sense, it's a very important concept and it has been highlighted in Islamic economics literature that one of the distinguishing feature of Islamic microfinance is that it has higher compliance. It is expected to have higher compliance from the clients to fulfill their commitments. And we have institutions like Ahuwa who basically utilize this idea. So basically, if I give their example, what they do is they provide the loan um, in a religious setting. So if they are loaning out money to Muslims, they do it in a mosque. If they loan out money to, let's say, Christians, they do it in a church setting. And the idea is that if people are engaged in their neighborhoods, in their communities, then they are expected to behave more responsibly as compared to when the transaction or the contract is only looking at the financial aspects and the financial features. The model that was presented by Dr. Gulizar also included the social intermediation together with intermediation. As has been discussed by Dr. Khalid and also by myself yesterday, it's very important to combine the two in the same institutional setup, which is also going to create linkage between development finance institutions, commercial finance institutions, and also link the microfinance delivery with public policy of any economy. Because the governments, the DFIs, they are interested in social intermediation, they are interested in impactful intermediation, whereas commercial finance institutions have a different angles. They only look at the profit bottom line. But if we combine the two, then there are synergies and there is a greater way to mobilize funds as well as engage all the stakeholders in a single platform. The empirical evidence is also given. So some people might have apprehension that this could be a very nice expectation that we can rely on social norms and trust and the element of cooperation, but it is not quite possible that we could have it in reality. But the apprehension which might be there is overcome by this paper while providing empirical evidence. And we know that even beyond this study, in microfinance, the repayment rate is usually very high, up to the extent of 95% to 99% in some of the microfinance institutions, which basically gives credence to this idea that poor people are more responsible, and especially when they are engaged in groups, they behave more responsibly, and the culture within the group also dictates as to whether they would be complying towards a common cause or not. And most of the time they do. And the high repayment rates in microfinance, even in conventional microfinance, basically prove this or give credence to this idea. But having said that, we also need to ensure that proper risk management is also there, because we cannot simply rely on social capital. So what we need to do is we need to have complementarity between the financial features of the contract and the risk management features of the contract, and then this a higher social capital, which is expected to be there in Islamic microfinance, would further complement those features. So they should not be seen as a replacement of risk management function or risk mitigants, but it should be taken as another additional risk management or risk mitigant feature. So we should be having both the hard side of, or the you can say formal side of risk management. We can then also rely on social capital to basically have improved compliance in microfinance contracts. And it has also been highlighted in Islamic economics literature and in this study as well, that in Islamic microfinance, because the transaction has a particular purpose, that it would be used to buy a particular asset, the compliance rate is also going to be greater, because there is no very high level of flexibility to the client to use the funds for all types of needs, including the consumption needs. So the targeted intervention and the compliance rate in Islamic microfinance is expected to be even greater than as compared to the conventional microfinance. Lastly, I would think that the research results of this study, because it also involves empirical evidence, it should be targeted to the DFIs, the development finance institutions, in a proper way, because they are mostly interested in impact of the programs, the social value of the programs. They are interested in social intermediation. So when we say that social capital is found to be very significant influencer of performance, so then it means that even the social objectives or the impact objectives, which are targeted by public policy making, which are targeted by different assistance programs, which are given by development finance institutions. So microfinance also can be a useful conduit and a useful mechanism through which these social objectives could be achieved. So these results are, I think, very, we can say, um, uh, they show optimism, and they show that even the DFIs can utilize Islamic microfinance and the social capital in Islamic microfinance to achieve their socio-economic objectives. So it's a very good paper, and as highlighted by Professor Yulia, that maybe in the future research, this could be used to develop integrated microfinance models, whereby we not only utilize the social capital that is there, but also try to intervene in non-financial assistance, non-financial package of the microfinance, so that we provide not only microfinance but a complete lifestyle to microfinance clients for their long-term engagement as well as more commitment. Because we know that if, let's say, the client only has microcredited facility, then the client may utilize it until microcredit is required. But if we provide non-financial assistance as well in the form of subsidized education, health, facilities, as well as takaful, micro takaful, as well as micro savings. So there will be increased engagement, and this would also enable the microfinance to basically scale up, which is necessary to reduce the average fixed cost per unit of per borrower or per loan. So these are some of the comments, and I appreciate Dr. Ulizer for conducting this research, and inshallah, in the future research, we would find more insights on this topic.
Yeah, that's all, Doctor. Thank you very much, Dr. Salman, for
Yes,
your.
these are some of my comments.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah. Thank you, Doctor. So we open for questions from the participants. Anyone want to take the opportunity?
Assalamualaikum, Chairman.
Ya, Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Silakan, who is that?
Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi.
Proceed, Dr. Widi.
If there is no question and answer, the committee will read the paper of Dr. Abdul Nasir.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Can I have
Respond? Oh,
yeah, respond a bit?
yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
I also have a question.
Prof. Agi.
My twin.
Okay. Thank you, Prof. Saman, for your enlightened comment. So I do agree with your recommendation with the issue of integrated microfinance, and we know all of us that microfinance itself is not only talking about the issue of credit per se, but also we are talking about the we do have Baitul Tamkin, we do have Baitul Mal, we do have Baitul Tamwil, as well as Baitul Ta'min. So this all features is actually within the framework of microfinance. So I do agree with you that it could be the approach that we are trying to use to apply to those of poor people is ideally we could use the integrative approach that we have done this. We are trying to have this with this four term. Baitul Tamkin, which is empowerment, and then Baitul Mal, as you know, what is Baitul Mal is, Baitul Tamwil, as well as Baitul Ta'min, which is micro takaful. So yes, we shouldn't rely on the social capital, and we are trying to innovate how we could really know the basic risk of the poor people, so that I mean we make sure that the sustainability of the poor people is, we can see the issue of sustainability from two sides, which is demand as well as supply side. That's why one of my recommendation for the next research is how we could articulate and we could clearly define what is the indicator of the social performance, so that by having this clear indicator, so the issue of mission drift, for example, we could mitigate from the very beginning. So, this is always the issue of microfinance, is including Islamic microfinance, that the issue of mission drift always come into the picture. That's why, as I have said yesterday, how we compare between the usage of legal entity, whether it is social business or a cooperative, because some of a discussion on this particular legal entity is, when it is cooperative, it is still looking at the profit, because we are talking about the members, we are talking about the the members.
Okay lah.
Hello.
Ni kau kat mana ni?
Hana, can you
The
unmute Hana?
other participant, please mute your microphone.
Yeah. Since the cooperative legal entity is still belong to the members, so we could say, me myself, they are trying to to have some sort of intention to have written. We have the term of SHU, Pak Kartiko, the annual return for the members, for the management, for those who are involved in this cooperative institution, whereby social business, which is promoted by Prof. Yunus, the profit that the income streaming from the business of this kind of microfinance institution is released to the benefit of the social purposes, like the concept of mawquf alayh in wakaf management. Okay, that's it. Thank you for the comment again, Prof. Saman. Inshallah, we could doing together to have a future research, inshallah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. So, Prof. Ghaffar, want to ask questions just now?
Still have time, Dr. Hajar?
Yeah.
Okay. If let's say we agree to have this social solidarity parameter and social capital parameter,
yes, Prof.
adopted or to be practiced by Islamic microfinance. So let's say if I'm looking for the intervention, so what type of intervention tool that I can use to look into this? If you want to have this two variable social solidarity and also social capital be part of in the management of Islamic microfinance.
Internal intervention or external intervention, Prof?
Intervention. Maybe can you think about the intervention? Let's say intervention from the institution itself, or maybe the intervention that come from regulators.
Yeah, of course. If the intervention from the regulator, as being addressed by Dr. Hajaros in yesterday, the role of government is still there, because the agenda of poverty eradication is not only micro agenda, but it is belong to the national agenda. That's why the issue of poverty eradication agenda should be having I employed the term used by Prof. Salman, the integrative approach, top down as well as bottom up. So I think the intervention should be there because government also having a budget for, let's say, for the training, business entrepreneur training, so forth and so on, which is very much in line with the social inclusion parameter. So this is from the external, particularly from the government. From the internal itself, I do mention in the recommendation for the future research and for the practitioner, they should also provide specific curriculum, Prof. Specific curriculum to to make sure that they are really work on the social intermediate role. What are the impact indicator, so that the mission drift that always come into the picture is mitigated from the very beginning, whether they are really concerned on the social mission or only focus on the financial inclusion purpose. So that's why the issue of social capital, as I said in the very beginning, as the background of the study is whether social capital is only a strategic model, to gather the potential members and then trying to mitigate the adverse selection, and then they are really deserve to have financial services from the particular Islamic or microfinance institution, or social capital is they have some kind of clear agenda, clear direction, that social capital is not only directed to the only for the finance inclusion purposes, but also to to have to develop, to have how to make this demand side of this market is sustained as well, not from not only for the benefit of the supply side, which is finance inclusion, which is disburse of the fund, but also they care about the empowerment, they care about how the poor people is really ready to to have a better life. That's all, Prof.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Welcome, Prof.
In my paper, I'm looking for the intervention. Okay. Maybe this is part of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
Thank
Prof.
you. Thank you, Dr. Yulizar. Any other questions? We have limited time. We have 4 more minutes. If anyone have any question? Yeah, if none, then we move to the next presentation. All right, I think no more questions. So thank you very much, Dr.
Assalamualaikum. Assalamualaikum. If there is no question and answer, we'll continue by the committee will read the paper of Abdul Nasir.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Dr. Yulizar, for presentation and discussion by the Prof. Salman, and questions, participations from I think Prof. Ghaffar only asked question just now. So for the next presentation, paper of Dr. Abdul Nasir will be read by Sister Cindy. The title is of Microfinance and Islamic Microfinance in Poor Communities, Yemen case study. So Sister Cindy is ready? Are you ready? Yeah, please.
Dia. Cuma saya jatuh bang.
Thank you very much, Sister Cindy and another sister. I don't know the name. Maybe. Yeah. Sarah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much for the presentation on behalf of Brother Abdul Nasir. Now the discussion will be Dr. Rahana.
Right. Assalamualaikum. All right. First of all, thank you for the presentation. It's very informative. I think there are number of few information that provided in the slides is a bit general. So if is it possible that when we want to talk about the success story and also we want to introduce the microfinance that we have in a country, I think it would be proper if we have some information. For example, in a very simple manners, for example, the type of model that use method, group lending, individual, village, and also we like to know about the number of borrowers that they have. Because I'm not sure either it is by year or is it cumulative the number of borrower. Okay, I mean from the establishment of the institution until today, is it the amount like for example, 283, is it for this year or is it cumulative? Same goes for the savers. Okay, others should be okay. I think for the information provided is informative. I think that's all from my point of view because the presenter is not here. So based on the presented by the representative, thank you so much, and that will be from me. That's all. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Rahana. So we open for questions to all participants today. All? Yeah, yes, yeah. All right. So any questions, please? Brother Abdul Nasir can answer through chat platform, maybe. Yeah. This is a quite interesting paper. It's mentioned.
Katiko want to say, where is Dr. Katiko?
Yeah,
Where is Dr. Katiko? Is he around? I think it's good to have this paper because it highlighted many issues related to the microfinance in Yemen, especially if we look at the number of institutions that involved in. One is the number of institutions that involved in microfinance and business. Second is the number of borrowers and also the number of financing disbursed. Okay. And on top of that, I think, as you know that, and also we are aware that now in Yemen, they are, if I can consider that one of the countries that are in conflict. So it is very timely for us to look into this perspective, especially to look into the people that are considered as a vulnerable groups, where we can help them through the microfinance institution. Okay, so actually we are going to help in terms of awareness program and also training, myself and also Dr. Kartiko, in collaboration with Dr. Nasir through GEYC. So we are going to help them to in terms of the two main aspects. One is on the awareness program, and also on the training part, and also on the possibility and also on the feasibility maybe of the setting up of the new microfinance institution in Yemen, inshallah. So we are hoping that some of you may help us to develop further on this institution that can help the people of Yemen.
Amin, amin, amin.
Yeah.
Dr. Kartiko is still not here because we interested to know or to talk about risk of microfinance, Islamic microfinance in the country which has political instability.
Yeah. So we will bring you all, inshallah. You will get a dog.
Bring through Zoom, Prof.
Pardon?
Bring through Zoom.
Yeah, inshallah, bring through Zoom. Yeah, inshallah. You will bring it through Zoom, yeah. I visited this country 2 times.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
I'll bring your back lah, Prof.
Inshallah. We can have another workshop in Yemen, inshallah, in Sana'a or in Khadamat.
Ya Rab, ya Rab.
Ya Rab. Amin.
I think Yemen also is a rich country, right?
Yeah, rich in terms of the resources. They have a lot of resources.
Yes.
Yeah.
Including oil.
Yeah, the oil. And then if maybe the Yuliza can remind us about the hadith related to Yemen.
Yeah, Prof. Including asal, Prof.
Yeah. Yes, yeah.
Including madu, apa nih?
Yeah.
Honey.
Yeah.
Honey, yeah.
Yes.
Honey from Hadramaut.
Yes.
I think if maybe your experience, Dr. Yuliza, if you compare with others Arab countries, they are very frankly, very humble and also very.
Yes. Betul, Prof.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I think we should remind about hadith
compared to.
Any other questions? We still have time or opinion.
Actually, I have written the ini Dr. Hajar Ros. Actually, I have written, if you still remember, when the LTIDB conducted the conference in Brunei, I forgot 2000. So one of the paper is
2008 or 2006.
2006, bro. So actually, the very basic issue or the very critical issue when we are talking about the Islamic microfinance as well as the micro enterprises is we should clear from the very beginning the size, the character, and as well as from the beneficiaries, whether it is poor, the poor of the poorest, or the economically poor poor people. So it will be affecting also to the approach, what kind of approach that we proceed to this kind of various character, various background. So this is the issue, Prof. Agi.
Sure.
Is there any study regarding the different characteristic of poor group compared to group among the poor?
Yeah, because we do have one of the promising institution based on digital, microfinance digital. So they are clearly mentioned that we are going to focus on the poor people, which is economically poor people, not the poor of the poorest. So meaning that at least the very basic requirement for those for this particular poor people is they are really keen on the entrepreneur what uh, 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 they are keen on the entrepreneur
Entrepreneur activity.
internet activity. So they are really clear mention from the vision, from the mission of their business. So of course it will be affecting the approach how Islamic social finance has also a role, let's say for the poorest of the poor. So I think zakat could be also take part on this kind of people compared to the economically poor people.
So the poorest group is not keen for to go for entrepreneur.
No, I mean they are selecting the poor people, whether they are wanted to to go for the business activity or not. So this is their requirement from the very beginning, Dr. Rajaros.
Other than entrepreneurship, is there any other different character?
I think mostly the issue of microfinance goes to entrepreneur. Maybe one of the another what service that proceed by the microfinance institution is consumption, right? So that's why as I mentioned in my presentation that one of the finding discussed by Prof Sakai, he already lived in Indonesia for many years. So she did mention that in her finding that mostly microfinance in South Asia, they are doing financializing. I mean, they are trying to to grab the poor market and then quote unquote force themselves to be indebted. So this is another issues that happen in the market, whereby they are trying to indulge, they are trying to come in to the poor market, and then by using this social capital, so they are trying to to disburse, to give fund, to give a financing to put for the poor, but for the sake of their business only, for this for business only. The term the using the term of financialization force the poor to be to be indebted, to be indebted.
Can I share about Amanah Itia experience?
Okay,
And
Dr.
one
Han.
thing that we have until now is that we are not Amanah Itia. We are not focusing on entrepreneur.
Okay.
We are focusing on activities that can generate income. It means that we didn't force the borrowers to must have a project or any kind of activities. But as long as you have the activity that can generate the income, then we will provide the microcredit scheme to them. Okay, and then after a certain period, we also provide microfinancing scheme which is non-economics. Non-economics mean for them to get a license, to go for training by themselves, or
Yeah.
for the education, for the children, or to go to Hajj. So we have that. But after a certain period, maybe after 2 or 3 years. Okay, I think that's the thing that our experience and what we do until now is that we encourage everybody to have one type of activities that generate income. Doesn't must be entrepreneurs, but we encourage them to have more than one type of activities.
Okay.
Okay, so for example, like they involve in plantation. So okay, you all proceed with plantation. Sometimes you need some capital to buy some equipment, for example. Okay, you can borrow, you can buy it. But at the same time, when we talk about private sectors, you have a gap, a time gap. So we encourage them to involve in other part activities. So they have more than one activities that can generate income. So with that, they're going to have a quite sustainable income for them. So they didn't just focus to one income. I think that's one of the element that we have under Amanah Itia. Yeah. So
Great.
that that's what we do. We encourage them to have more than one activities. Either is in term of short term or permanent or long term is up to them. Yeah.
Because you know
That's how we
sometimes they don't have the vehicle to bring their product to the city, right?
Yeah. Then you,
Provide financing for them to buy motorbike. Right?
yeah. And then it's like fishermen, they need to buy the motor, so they can borrow, buy the motor, no problem.
I did.
Dr. Rahana,
Yeah.
Amanah Ikhtiar is still focused on the woman, right?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Actually,
Wow.
although the focus is on women,
Yes.
those who do, I mean, the work is done by the men.
We have the pitliner. I mean that our focus is to empower the woman.
Yeah,
So they make the borrowing doesn't mean that they need to have projects. Sometimes you pair with your partners or your children to do a project. So like shop, a car wash. So okay, so it's like that. But the borrower must be woman. Must be.
the first instrument.
one, I think based on our study, Dr. Yuriza, based on our study, women is the best paymasters.
Yes. Number one. Number
Second
two.
one is women, they like to go to the meeting.
Yes.
Okay.
Because under this AIM program, they need to attend the meeting, weekly meeting.
Yes. Even now, even during MCO.
Even now,
Really? Oh.
Except that not everybody. We only call we get every group they have a leader.
Yes.
We only get the leader.
So therefore, the men don't like to go to the meeting. They don't like to go from bawah.
You can sell your goods. You can do spa. You can do whatever. So that's what they like to do the meeting.
Prof.
Is it the syarat, Dr. Rana?
Yes.
Memang
Yes.
syarat
Compulsory.
it must be lady.
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes. Number one, it must be a group of 5. Number 2, it must be weekly meeting. Number 3, it must be woman.
Half woman boleh lah.
Huh? Yeah.
Half woman.
But most important is you must be poor or hardcore poor. Yes. Yeah. We're not accepting those that have income more than 3,500. No. If your income, the household income is more than 3,500, then you're not qualified to get financing from Amanah Itia. It must be below than that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think when we talk about Yemen, I think the important is that when we want to give financing, of course the important thing is the project that they have. So we need to identify actually what kind of project that the Yemen borrower can do and can generate profit. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Because the political is unstable, meaning the economic is also unstable. So they cannot go for the high production and so on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amanah Ikhtiar may copy the model of Grameen Bank.
Yeah, we do have. We use that. Especially in terms of compulsory saving. We do that meeting. Yeah. So we have that. Our product, is patuh syariah. We never say that Islamic microfinance. We say patuh syariah. That's all. We have ISO under syariah. We have non-Muslim. We will make our borrower, but their product or their activities must be in term of category of halal.
How about the legal entity? Is it cooperative or what?
No, it's not cooperative. It's a foundation.
Oh, foundation.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a foundation.
Is it possible, Amanitar, to conduct the pulling the fund from the members?
Yeah. It's one of the characteristic under our Establishment Act. We do the compulsory saving.
Because in Indonesia, because Prof. Dr. Hana, in Indonesia, it is prohibited for the muasasah, for the foundation to pulling the fund from the community.
I think that maybe that Dr. Yuniza, the difference between the foundation under the Prime Minister and also under the normal registrar company.
I see. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, this is two different things. Yeah, two different under two different trusts.
So even payment system and saving, so it is also a lot for Amanah Ihtiyat to do that.
Yes. We using now we're using the terminal. So previously we do the collection, cash collection.
Okay.
So now we change it into using the terminal, so that it's easier for them to make the payment. But there are certain areas in Sabah whereby we still do the collection. However, what we do is that at the same time we also release a new financing. So the money will be rotated there.
So this is the different, Pak Syekh Dr. Kartiko Foundation Indonesia and Brunei and Malaysia.
Prof. Gafar. Yeah. I argue about the Indonesian case. Maybe it is not so good, operate based on the women. Women concept. There is experience in Surabaya. We know it's the cooperative operate all by women and so on, also in the members. But now they have the problem about the condition of operating. But now I don't have the data of how condition the cooperative. But this interesting for research. Furthermore, this is the challenge also, especially Pak Ustadz Sanrigo, to take the research about the is the concept financial by women good or not. It is forget really in Indonesia any case it is not operate well. But I can mention the name of the cooperation. It's not ethic. So maybe we may make the FGD about the concept. I think it's interesting.
Okay.
I mean like this. Women based on the financial is not clearly in all conditions and countries. Cause there is evidence that the failed in the operate. Okay, so like this, Ustadz Sanrico, maybe we can make the new reset.
Yeah. We should provide the wabit. We should provide parameter.
Okay. Yes.
Experience from
actually
Bangladesh.
what I found that in Malaysia is two parameters. One, the women they perform better in school, so it show what. Second one is, I think according to the hadith, they are the leader at the home, right? So you can manage your financial matter at home. So why don't you manage the financial matter of your husband, right? So that's why. Yeah, that's why the women will be the
Yeah.
hustlers.
And the naturally like that, Prof.
Yes.
but there is a thesis, but not all of the concept can implementing well.
Yeah. But it's significant in Malaysia.
Yeah.
It just like playing chess, Prof.
Yeah.
Prof. Gafar.
Yes.
Just like playing chess. When actually the very basic law of chess is low,
Yeah.
right? But once it's extending, I mean trespassing or make daruriyat wajibat.
Yeah.
So it will be I mean, it will be haram
Yeah.
to do that.
Yeah.
So just like the logic is just like playing chess.
We also want to hear from Dr. Zainab about the experience in Tunisia. Where is Dr. Zainab? Or maybe Harun, you have any experience?
Not really.
Really?
Yes.
In Ghana?
In Ghana now. Ghana, we are now, actually that's why I'm here to learn, because we don't have this, unlike Nigeria. Nigeria, especially in the northern part of Nigeria, there are, activities about Islamic finances.
Yeah.
But in Ghana in particular, no, this thing has not reached us as yet. Yes.
Maybe Kenya, brother.
Yeah, Kenya possibly. In East Africa, because they are close to the Arabs, possibly. So yes, there are some influences about this thing. So probably yes, Kenya in particular, maybe Tanzania as well. The Ethiopia, I'm not sure, but Tanzania is possible. Yeah, but we in the West, especially Ghana, about the French-speaking countries, I don't know. Well, somewhere like Senegal, Guinea, Burkina Faso, Ivory Coast. I have no idea because of the language barrier. We speak English, they speak French, even though they are our neighbors. So because of the language barrier, I don't know what is going on, because I don't have the access to their materials. But Nigeria, I know, especially the northern part of Nigeria, there are Islamic banking activities there, but not in Ghana.
About Eritrea and Djibouti, they are very close to Yemen.
Yes. These are Eastern Africa. Yes.
Yeah.
Djibouti. Unfortunately, Somalia should be also the same, but because of the war. Because of the political problem. Yes. The political problem has disrupted the place there. Yes. So Djibouti, yes, Djibouti is quite stable. I expect that there must be some activities there. Yes.
Thank you,
Professor. Maybe it is interesting if we discuss about the MENA, especially in Middle East country, but especially like Arab Saudi, Nasir, and it's based on Arabic culture, Prof. We know that the Arabic culture is forbidden for women to the external activity. So how?
You can ask Dr. Yulisa, but for me is they like to go to shopping mall.
Oh yeah.
they like to have gathering.
Oh.
Yeah, and also to finish
no problem.
And then to finish off the husband money.
Yeah.
In Saudi Arabia, they already have a new act.
Yeah.
Whereby woman is now becoming a bit free. I mean,
they can drive.
They can drive and go for shopping alone. So this is the new, I mean, the dynamic of law in Saudi Arabia.
All right. I think we come to the end of the session to allow the organizer maybe want to give any information before we stop this. Here is already nearly 12:30. I have meeting at 1:30. So 1 hour different from Indonesia. So I thank you very much to all the presenters this morning, the discussants and the participants for giving ideas, asking questions, and make the discussion lively. So thank you very much. I give back to the organizer, yeah, to proceed with the next whatever information you want to announce. All right. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Can we have a photo session? Can we have a photo?
Photo session, please.
Photo session, please.
Yeah.
Sister,
Yeah. So we're going to take the photo.
Another thing is if possible all of us can can have I'm not sure about the papers and the comments from the discussion, maybe for future reference or maybe by request. I'm not sure.
We will send, inshallah.
Because I understand that apa ni the material will be used for or published in a book. It's a book chapter. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So photo ready? Photo ready. He's going to take the photo. Okay.
Okay.
You.
Thank
You, inshallah.
Very much.
Assalamualaikum.
You can inshallah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Belum, nanti mulai lagi jam cacut ya, si cacut ya. Cacut kamu.
Jam 6, habis mana? Ini mau nggak? Tapi kan katanya kalau sama temen ambil.
Udah lagi nanti nih.
Enggak, ambil harus tahu lah.
Nyangdut. Si chongchoi, si changchoi, chongchoi, chongchoi, brokucut.
Kemudian klipiknya.